Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, beautiful day. September 29th, 2022. September 29, 2022. Of course, with me, I get Kashi, I get Corporate Culture, and we get with brother today, a civil society activist, renowned one for that matter, brother Warisay. We not only hearing audios them the past few months where they come out and they point out critical issues them. Especially recently the audio we do about the $10 million from ECSL, where the African Express publish, and where the members of parliament not before take up that case dated today. And we all know say since the African Express they making publications, them all the thievery of this government, the thief, travel of Marabio exorbitantly, they use all kind of money, almost millions. This month alone, September, I don't use past $600,000 for travel. Take the parliament name for call this man. Now we say the office of the president and catch the forged receipt, double dipping, potential money laundering. That's why he left. Section 51 of the Constitution give them the authority for impeach this president. The leaders of the opposition, Cherikoko, Kande Yumkela, and Masilamina them, they are all able for take action for impeach this president. They bring disrepute to we name. The country name, it don't bad off. Bad reputation across the world. They say the president the forged receipt. Take to this day inside the office of the president. Nobody they no fire. Nobody they no accountable. The members of parliament for bring the president come.
I love the word where you use about the impeachment, how you kind of like relate the impeachment and the reputation of the country. Absolutely. You see, sometimes this is not the reason we make Africa we rotten like how we rotten so, and Salon we rotten like how we rotten so. The currency just stay like all over the place. Imagine if then for me kind of like bring up like an impeachment proceedings now the country. That alone, people for don't say, you know what? This country they look serious about corruption. They look serious about democracy. But no, they sit down and they watch. When they talk about impeachment, some man can say, oh no, let we let my boss no more. We don't get time again. Let we not disrupt the process. Let we left them no more. Then they forget say it has something to do with the credibility and the reputation of the country. Anyway, I hate for stroking with that.
No, that's good. That's a great point. No, that's a great point. So that's why we bring brother what he said today. You see, Salon people them. What we lack now Africa, like how Cash to talk as though they reach this point. Now institutions, we have to build institutions. Comrade like that points there as well from Barack Obama. What in Africa lack now institutions, and the institutions them not all by themselves, then they operate. Now people that are inside these institutions, now good citizens them, now for the institution they have to make sure they protect the institutions. You talk about the police, you talk about the judiciary, you talk about NEC, ECSL, you talk about the office of the president itself, you talk about the parliament, and the parliament, like I would say section 105, now give them the authority, very supreme legislative authority. Every Sierra Leonean should understand, say, for our pool Marabio, we can talk all we talk. But if with members of parliament, they do not act how they for act, it's not easy for remove Marabio from office. Members of parliament for they out and about the country, up and down, recess, no recess. This is a crucial moment. This is the moment we're not for reverse back. This is registration. It is part of the electioneering process. For get Marabio out of power. So for let we able to win the election, we need members of parliament because they get power when they talk. The world they yeri, the international community they yeri. We can talk, we can sensitize, we can encourage everybody. Go register. We can come there, we can cry about the fact that people are complaining every day. When they go to the registration center, they say go to Bad Sandet. When they go to Bad Sandet, they say go to Nakra office. Then they turn with people like a pendulum. Then they turn with people like a football. They say kick out they want up and down. Enough for be that way. Now I make we glad for Lawyer Lansana. We don't take a class action lawsuit. We see the letter. It come up from your office within letterhead. And that is the thing we're grateful for Brother Lansana because it maintain the prestige and the integrity of your office. It is always using in letterhead. It is using logo. It is sign up.
It protect the image of the country by doing so because it tells you like, you know what, there are institutions or individuals we sing for the tribe for protect the name. Sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely, please. Absolutely. So, Lawyer Lansana, all right, and come. I'm taking very seriously because these days with a seal kind letter, where they come from some person them. We don't even know who's one are the person you own, who's one, because they are not signed, it not get letterhead, it not get logo, and when they talk about people, they will get big office them. But Lawyer Lanson has been consistent in that angle, where they write in letter there, we don't get for argue for saying a Lawyer Lanson up to Lawyer Lanson. And again, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or Brother Warisay and Cashbox.
Ibrahim, that point is very correct. The world they live right now, not to think that world they use that type of machinery be say, you get for what make it difficult for me to let ahead. With the world, they live in a world in a global world, in electronic world would they live. Every computer you will create your logo day. We know they see, but for let somebody, if you really want to save people in breath, we the write letter for put on a public for tell the wrong caution in the neck, we let Kailands will be a do so. Every former President Kroma way they write letter with the C and D in logo the letter the way they write letter for say I want travel or so it did the we let that come on the House of Parliament because what mean they say logo for day now for like somebody not that in as much as they can fake logo you can't deny but for write letter we get for deal with for save people them we get for question illegality we get for talk about something we get for change alone for better or for worse. We're supposed to see letter. Not supposed to go to right. Put first in MD. It's fine. But for let not say that you, let not get an argument say not to me that why somebody no go for God's sake for save the station. Ibrahim let me also. But I need to hide them finger. And let me do so. I need some picking for go talk for me. Go mean that me born as a talk pass you.
Thank you.
Ibrahim. They say Uda hit the big pass you get but who pass you.
Yeah.
Let people left for play. Conning politics that's alone. Conning politics and non-politics alone from 1961. Self-benefit.
Say you were born because a bit of pass you cannot believe. The brand is a bit.
Me picking at 6 years old. No. Me picking at no. Me say a bit of pass for that. Like we get so. Bakanu at this age a bit of pass you.
That picking for.
It's not possible.
It can bully me.
No, me picking the bully me as a bit of pass. Picking before me the body for since I don't toilet at the body.
Me like go back it about the English sharp. So
I tell you. They talk kasi. Like you get sensitive. Picking the toilet pass papa before you prepare the body first. But you don't toilet before the body. So what do they talk? That conning politics thing. No one has salary again. Where they can't talk. Cashbox will all be able equally forgive information. So don't have for not talk thing. We make conning. Who goes alone left, right, and center. But if somebody attack side, if you're the leader, the leaders of the opposition, then Jerry Koko, Emasi Lamina, Kande Yumkela, then three are very important figures of the top of so. When in the parliament, one, they not for make money, not to see even the letter the right was who the question, but the letter for the right so, who for select last time be away the right letter, if they see a signature the letterhead consistently, so we not see that from by come out. We don't get nothing for talk against them. Not from my court. Now that to the talk now. We don't discount the letter about the discount here. We know an argument. Polite no go right 21 day. We could say a right bad thing against government. That they could say not to be right all this while. So now for correct terms. We something wrong correct now.
Absolutely. That is the point. You know, Brother Warisay, just tell family I do quick let them hear your voice. Then they begin to say that Brother Warisay don't come. Tell them I do quick number for me, and then they bring in you later. But tell family I do quick for me.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you very much to this team. Before I tell family I do now, I want to tell you first, and I want to tell thank you, because I want for register million waiting and call and I say this program now the most listened to program that's really right now. And for me, I know they will not send money if I not listen to now. I learn about what they happen at Sierra Leone before I grab for go. So I have to tell them thank you, and I have to say kushare to the people them we didn't listen to Winner Sierra Leone.
Thank you, Brother Warisay. We appreciate you as well, my brother. You know, say Maleke una so na creates the path. You know, they like today where people like we say they come out now able to come and talk. So thank you very much for everything. You know, but you know, yes, sir, you're welcome. You know, comrade, I don't lost comrade first. Kashi, you know, talk to me, my brother. You see, because Lawyer Lanson, I wait till they do so. Apart from the letterhead, the logos, we know the. And Kashi, you got, of course, me and you will agree on this one thing. You know, it's about the prestige. It's about protecting institutions. This part of the world today, we see where Nancy Pelosi right. Kalo no de param. You don't know say this. Nancy Pelosi come up from. You know, so that the kind of thing that we want. We just want consistency. You know, in in our writings. And again, when somebody writes from a letterhead and he sign them, you can use them as an instrument in the court of law for say yes, this is a legitimate instrument. But tomorrow, letter will not get letterhead, it not get signature. Anybody can go and deny. Say not to me, oh, yeah, I beg you, not mix me the mean. I mean, right? So that's to me, do when me signature, when me letterhead. So now anybody, that's the point now. But again, that is not even what we talk about, right? We all agree now. Say for right letter I want. Now the actions behind now matter. So Kashi, talk to me real quick because they bring in, brother Warisay. Okay, communication don't join me, but talk to me on that front. Why important for waiting lawyer Lance and they do something like today, 23 years later as a human rights lawyer, continue for save and rescue with people left. Talk to me, Kashi. Kashi, you mute. Hey, sometimes Namira lost them man there.
No.
Oh, okay.
Let me come in.
Okay, comrade.
Okay, you know, like the thing we talk so, now the most important thing to talk about. Ibrahim, okay, write letter 100 times. Ibrahim, anybody write letter for anything, equally getting right for challenge them. In the legal way, Ibrahim, one thing with Parliament for do, who would say the front stop this thing for us all, now for call to action at Parliament. Stop the illegality. Ibrahim, from the first 3 days of registration, we don't suicide to say that they have birth certificates. We don't say the NI number don't be a condition until an option is a registration, don't be a condition is a registration. And this parliament, with this entire parliament for some commit treason. Now the opposition party is that when Jerry Koko, Yum Kela with Emasi Lamina, then deliberately don't either it. But all the base up with the base up at the APC because that then that formidable party will expect stay in the country. Ibrahim, if you write a letter, the first 2 weeks, if you write letter and put on the paper, in fact, the 2 weeks it end up become worse than the second 2 weeks that pass, even the first 2 weeks, Ibrahim, because then just write letter and say, okay, no, write letter for pull headline office or not write nothing. But what's in the letter, what's in the back of the letter, the actions called to Parliament, Ibrahim, MP, and the say, in fact, just say, NI number no go ever the registration. And Ibrahim, sorry for B, will not get decks for NI number do the voter registration, Ibrahim. Will not get decks for NCR registration, do the voter registration. All the way they get time for let them come. The NCR will not do the assignment 2 years ago. The NIN, in fact, Ibrahim, the NI registration is a continuous process. Right. Not to for stop safe.
Now,
if for continue, you not get expire the date for CVL after no. Now, try for be consistently. Anybody can go walk into the office, you go register as a citizen. You don't understand them?
Right.
In a continuous process. So they're not saying
like what do you say about it, like the NIN being a continuous process? I agree. Somebody somewhere go argue the point and say, well, we use the registration process as well for be part of that continuity of the NIN. However, this is like an institution, the ECSL, we say they don't get enough money. And when they don't get enough money, for me, you kind of like employ other people and when they do the NIN registration, that could even eat up to the process, the time and all that in a day. So make it easy. Take it out. Find another way for make it be like a continuous process, not for kind of like a disrupt the whole registration process. Sorry, carry on.
We are talking here about they say they don't get money for buy computers for open all centers. Exactly. Now they use 3 extra computers.
Thank you.
For do the work. The two is not legal. You can do at any time. If they go put a computer for NCRE, if they go put computer for NIN, we be saying that as an option. Why you not be taking other 2 computers and they wanna extend the center step instead of having them 2 years? Kashi, they take the illegality for make a legal one time fair way for justify. Voter registration, every election we don't go all night don't participate election them. When it's voter registration, purely is about voter registration and nothing else. Nothing else.
Absolutely.
You never go put next say if somebody not get NIN number, pass you go in a NIN office, you go to NCR office, we can voter registration. So one now voter suppression. Now voter oppression. But the one when they hate this thing, now the members of Parliament. Ibrahim, the first 3 days of that registration, the first not this one,
right.
The first one with the first 2 weeks, the first 3 days don't do for them for stop that in the through Parliament.
Right.
Through calling the commissioner without writing him letter. You know that. call a parliament. Now on the day, we all talk now, say, we respond them. The speaker of parliament and witness. Why would the Congo would have been one hour use? He don't do for let them call to action all of them Ibrahim.
Thank you.
In manufacturing, we don't see him you don't in no can support us. You don't even call him because no support the CC, the fit for one. But the one that the main opposition party leader, we are in party the way to for kind of government 2023. Then they see the voter oppression and suppression. They go to the areas. Ibrahim, if you see that the southeast, will not ever see a complaint of anybody can say that they stop you for instance, we go to get NI number. If that's again, police talk say they need ask questions. But they see consistently that the northwestern western area blatantly. Then they say, oh, if it's suicide members of parliament, they complain. See, then they stop people and MP they complain, they make audio. He did very well. They go to come. Yes, member of parliament they complain. We don't see him. We say, well, really, we don't can look the team the work self, we don't can do NI number. Remember, now they don't say no plan parliament.
Come to that point.
You see the illegality. Yeah,
to that point, that is where Brother Warisay comes in. What do you think? Because that point where they make so parliament's complain. But Warisay work with parliamentarian them. He work with the parliament.
Sorry, can I just come in
right.
before Brother Warisay comes in?
Come on in.
Because, like, I mean, I don't meant for laugh, comrade, but you know, the thing that way they act as alone, it is laughable. For make a member of parliament, they go let complain. You know, for make you go let complain, Ibrahim, you know, like, can you imagine? For make you and 5-year-old Pekin, they fight. Then you want to go to your papa, you say, oh, look, that look why he slapped me, but you gonna cry and cry. How does that feel like?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know what other person in your papa, but me, your papa, in fact, somebody what you beat for, if it's not it beat you back.
Yes.
It beats you on something.
Yeah.
You know, if I like come and make the point where they talk there and say, oh, like even 3 days or so. Do you guys remember when they go launch the registration? We come there and say, hold on, how can you launch a registration where it be say they don't split the days there? Now we see African Express can pull a revelation there where it's we say $10 million where they're supposed to buy, where they procure the computers and all that in a day. Why? We only agree the crumble, but say the 15 days is not correct. But you go launch. Why you go like? How you go sign a document where you don't read?
Absolutely.
How you go sign a document where the NI number they inside it? When I don't say it wrong. How you go sign a document where they tell you say the NCR they inside it? When I don't say it wrong. How you go launch something we're wrong? This is the start. We come and talk about it. People are beginning to say, oh, the man, the opposition leader, he don't get choice. He get for good. How you go for something we're wrong? What's wrong with some? That's swear we or you don't put me at inside.
I mean,
you know, before now I say, guys, nothing Ibrahim. They can't get a nation where every government will come. Then they do things before they say we'll not get chance.
Yes,
right.
Excuse.
It's a continuous process of what's up between 61 or 67. We're happy with it from 68 now. Say we end up na war. Now he will build so back.
That is not pull ways.
Absolutely.
No, they can't get back. That is we government change. Will they get back census after every 1 year for let them this other side? We government change. Will they get a fresh NCR registration? We government change. We the see election. Then go begin say NI number and condition for we don't want to continue with illegality.
Absolutely.
We want to stop illegality because Salongo only better will get a strong institution. Institution will talk say no, this is not my job.
Right.
No one continue. That person will say no, because tomorrow we go there back for say this illegality. I will be not talking. Say no continue time. Or no one for less alone continue by illegality. Say any party can be feel for duty for do. President Nkrumah uphold democracy for 10 years. Like about uphold for 5 years because in other 5 years, in first 5 years, I know uphold and become mess them up. But in last 5 years, I will have fine. President Nkrumah uphold for 10 years. But have you in 4 years, you don't pass. All the leaders who don't come. Parliament, then they either are bitter. And this 21st century, that was the side.
It is a shame. Brother Warisay, with all these things, Brother Warisay, you work with Parliament. You know the powers of Parliament. You know the capabilities of Parliament. You know what Parliament's capable of doing in times like these right now. This is not the time where Parliament for actually do their work for preserve and save this democracy. Brother Warisay, when they can't talk about that, they talk about the returning officer, them, the fact that they're supposed to give people a return, they slip them if they reject them. When you reject somebody, not register, if you give them a slip for showing rejection, the rejection slip. When they can't talk about all that, but talk to me about Parliament as an institutions. What do you think over these 4 years, my brother? All the publications of the African Express. Come on in, Brother Warisay, take them from there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like I say, I'm jealous now because this is the most listened to program that's here today.
Thank you.
Quote me any side, because the whole of Sierra Leone, they make sure in the morning, then they listen to Ibrahim 49 program. Because many people, they can call me from Sierra Leone. You don't listen to that program. You don't listen to that program. You understand? So for me, I think say they do very, very well.
But in fact,
talk about parliament.
But in fact, I just want to say we name, we're not publish as much, we're not publicize them as much. Now Sierra Leone's Victim Advocates Network, Salvan, from a wonderful gentleman we have. Sierra Leone's Victims Advocates Network. But anyways, go ahead, my brother. Sorry,
I never land that name because someone will tell me, say,
you say no mind that, but you just want to balance the fact that you say when people in the say that Ibrahim, look, how we change the name now, people are not used to that in the so they go with a number now.
Cash boxing program.
Ibrahim in network in forum, yeah.
No, even they mention cash box, they go mention Quetta. That program, you don't listen to them.
They said you don't like you said, oh, you don't listen Ibrahim, but we can include myself inside.
I like.
Understand. No use to have his fine.
No man.
I understand.
No man, cash it for you.
I understand. I know where they come from. But don't get serious. My brother, what to make we maybe in a democracy Sierra Leone, we decide say we for work with parliament, we for zero in on parliament. In fact, to the admiration of international organization. In fact, you go to the United Nations television, democracy Sierra Leone and work with parliament, it did it as part of the archive where they not be at the council Sierra Leone, they can see waiting at this work where these people they do. They're not couch with parliament and ensure say they're able for grow the democracy through parliament. Then come, then do Una know Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright now a Hollywood actor. Now in narrate that story there for we documentary on Parliament of Sierra Leone. So what make we do that one in because we don't look at the governance system at Sierra Leone. We see and say if Parliament then gets the act together, then serious. We don't need the Anti-Corruption Commission. We don't need for the waste money every year because waiting to the power where they log it to Parliament is so enormous that we forget blue. We come to how we make we laws and we forget blue. We come to how we register. We grievance them. Forget blue. We come to how we make laws and how we hold leaders. We get position. How we hold them accountable. So for me, that make we decide to say that we can zero in, that we come in on parliament, not to just from every ensure say we give them, we advocate for them, let them get that kind of independence they're supposed to get, but we engage people them also, may they understand how parliament they make laws, which are the powers of the president, the parliament, which they're supposed to do around holding government accountable for the people their money, because now parliament that they're supposed to approve budget. But I will tell you now categorically say this parliament is a mess. This parliament, from what we sabi, from what we don't learn, from what I don't see over the last 10 years, this parliament is nothing to write home about. And waiting is now the fact say you cannot distinguish anymore like this parliament between the opposition and the governing party in the parliament, because they're all just in collusion against the people of Sierra Leone.
They're not bargaining against Salon people.
Very, very difficult for me because that kind of thing what we be used to. Usai the person when a clerk of parliament right now when a parameter around then tell them they were in the member parliament. It a grab, it a knock the table. You understand? When they argue, when they discuss, when they argue in a parliament, when they debate, they actually know say an opposition they can talk. You actually know say somebody where they oppose government, they can talk. So for me, I think I get serious problem when it comes to how the opposition, especially, they behave within a parliament. I want to take on back. I don't want to go into all of the because we all know what's in their roles and responsibilities. I want to take on back. Now remember, in 2013, there was this discussion about the safe abortion.
But I want to say,
the safe abortion. Yes,
before you check we back. tell people a small number, let them know, because you don't say democracy Sierra Leone. Let them know soon be organization, and and this not during the days of whose president, former President Nkrumah, Tijan Kaba. Let them just know this. Just give them a backdrop.
Oh yes. Well, me in the work with Democracy Sierra Leone, I start with Democracy Sierra Leone as Western Area Coordinator under Tijan Kaba in regime. Then we come and organize the 2007 elections. We organize the elections. After the elections, some months or so, they elect me as the national coordinator of Democracy Sierra Leone. So from that point, we've been on the work with Parliament. We've been on the go and come with Parliament. Democracy Sierra Leone, we've been on ensure say not to just follow we print books that we get for do with rules and responsibilities for educating people. We go as far as advocating for Parliament. We go as far as buying documents that we get for do with the Constitution. For make parliamentarians they understand how to make law, they get to understand how they make that law first of all. So what we do in a Democracy Sierra Leone, we go ahead and buy a particular book where Abdullah Okonte, the right, when an essay of the 1991 Constitution, because we say we want let parliamentarians let them understand how they make law. Now, when you understand how they make that law, with the intent for that law, we take members of Parliament to the constituency system and show say we open what we call dialogue, we open clinic, because we think say this now the responsibility for engaging people for every law that I make, we have to take them to the people them. So we will facilitate that one day. Then we reach a point of say, you know what thing, then we begin advocate for members of Parliament, make them get what thing and call constituency facilitation fund. This money, however, them play politics by this money under Anes by Nkrumah regime. They play politics and call this money constituency development fund. Now remember that $10,000 they give members of Parliament every year. We original idea for this money now for them give them because we wanted them facilitate, then go and come to the constituency them. Where they make law, the people that know the law they make. Before they make law, the people that get their inputs. You know, we say, oh, now me the representative, so I can't talk anything for the no. If we go and go listen to the people, now the Western democracy or the democracy where they follow, now then kind of thing then people that they do, where they bring people them into governance, where they ensure participation. So we do all of this. And for me, the experience with parliaments now one way very, very unique. When I say unique in a sense, a lot of Sierra Leoneans, because they're not being follow Parliament, they're not being follow what they do, Parliament they get so much bad name. Because here is the person, Ibrahim, we're supposed to monitor somebody where they spend 50, 30, 80, 90 billion euros every year. Here is that person, now you member of Parliament, you don't even get motoka for going to Parliament. We say, this kind of thing, not fine. If that man they not able to forget independence, that man not able to forget motoka self as a parliamentarian, then it will be corrupted. We advocate for them, let them get motoka force. We advocate for them, let them get facilitator fund, let them get their money where they for take, go and come, now then constituency system. That money they mistakenly turn them to what they call development fund. We say $10,000 not they develop constituency. $10,000 now small money, so use them as a facilitation fund and just say that money every month you go to your community, organize clinics or we will call meetings for ensure say you educate people them about the laws the way we make. We be not going to come that far with the democracy, but I know they even hear about that nowadays. So what I say, this parliament who we get now, it's just a mess now, because what we not used to, what we not start, what we not see in democracy from Tijan Kaba, especially in last 5 years. Comrade mentioned and gets very, very correct. Especially in last 5 years, come to Anes by Nkrumah in 10 years, what we not see. He not in this parliament at all. And me, it offend me personally, say the members of parliament when opposition cannot stand on their foot for saying no, the people that elect we, now for can oppose. Not to can compose, not to can compromise.
But I want to say, I love the history where you give about this constituency development fund, because to me it's like I say now Parliament don't sound like say they just they wait for their money there and then they all have a facility there where they get, and now you don't can add to like the $15,000 where they get for like their medical insurance and all that thing. It's like I say waiting will not be meant for good. Don't turn to cost to the people, because like now what we they see with the MPs them, then they go about the bill, say, oh, with the bill hospital. How can you just go build like an infrastructure, like a building where you put block them? Where are you going to get all these equipments them for equipment? You know, this is the thing. Like for me, it has to be like a total, you know, like an overhaul of the system, because like now people that go and go build about clinic them say, oh, look what's here the bill, because the people and the bigger picture now should have been the sensitization, you know, of the people, the constituents, for make them able to understand what's in Parliament and what's in the laws they will make. Because we go back to like this law, this PR system and all that in the kind of way will be seen 2-3 parliamentarians and they go to the constituents, you know, they go talk to the people and all that in the maybe that's not be the reason for that and all that in the many people understand and give their own view. But it's like I say, that's in the way what we do, where we meant for good. Don't turn to a cause.
Yes, I agree with you to a large extent, because a lot of people they may misunderstand that one day as if with the fair way for make parliamentarians and get money, we advocate for them and just get money for nothing. And no, that was not the intention. And I make with the then president, they read that particular side na parliament that day. After that, I go engage the clerk of parliament. I say, Mr. Clerk, this is a mistake. This money was not meant for development of the constituencies. The development, if we follow the law, it then at the hands of the local council. It then at the hands of the local council now. We don't separate them here. We don't split them here. So this money, now for educate the people, now for let the members of parliament, they go.
Sorry, but I want to say, you don't feel to say the word development could be interpreted as like maybe sensitization, you know, let the people awareness and all that, or was it kind of like infrastructural development?
Well, because they say development, in fact, it reached a point where some members of parliament they refuse that money now, because then they get bad name for that money. Because we get $10,000, maybe around 50 million euros. By the time they reach a constituency, $10,000 not done. So that make we say, not for development, tangible development, put structures in place. The local council that then get that responsibility now. That make we get the decentralization secretariat, we be steadily devolve their function they are to the local council. We know we come from that archaic system of government. And say the member of parliament and minister at the same time in the local council at the same time they take development back to them constituency. They know we be not done with that. You parliament, you role for be making laws, holding government accountable to the people their money, and ensuring that you make you represent your people them. How do you represent your people them? Until you go to your people them, you listen to their views and come with them in parliament and can discuss them as how you hear them. You will not represent the people at all. So, yes, I agree with you. I want to take that back this small, even though I know already discussion be about that. I want to take that back this small.
Thank you.
The $15,000 or any kind facility we then give members of parliament, for me, at this point, it's not deserving. I make a statement for that. It's not deserving because the fact that we not see this parliament done the work like how they made the work under Tijankaba. We not see this parliament done the work like how they made done the work under Anis by Kuruma. We not see this parliament done the work like how they made done the work for the people of Sierra Leone in the past. And I want to give a small. I want to take back. Ibrahim is stop me. I want to take the back. We say. You go back to the safe abortion law where they pass in parliament. With all the members of parliament then come together. Civil society them, then come together. They say this law are good for law we get abortion. But that particular thing they now be thorny issue, now be an issue very sensitive because the religious leaders them, the Muslims and Christians them be on the criticize that particular law. The president of Sierra Leone, them and his by Kuruma, he refused to sign this law. They take this law after 2 weeks to go to parliament. When they take them go to parliament, advocate them and this and that, local and international, they engage parliament. Parliament say 2/3 they pass this lawyer. When they pass this law, then take them back and send them to Mr. President. Mr. President, this law, we don't agree for them. We members of parliament them. So from that moment, according to the law, according to the constitution, from that moment, that law where 2/3 of members of parliament don't pass them, it don't become law. What I want to bring out now, the fact say parliamentarians they know say they get this power for even go against the president in which we can to making laws because now then the supreme legislative body. In fact, Ibrahim mentioned that one always. Now then the supreme legislative body. So then get that power. This parliament they know that one day. Yes, go on.
No. Is it section 105 of the Constitution, Ibrahim? Is it the one that says that supreme legislative body?
Yes, this section 7.
Yes, I think so. Carry on. Sorry, we don't need
Yes. So make a give you quick.
Sure.
It says where a bill has been passed by Parliament, but the President refuses to sign it, the President shall within 14 days of the presentation of the bill for his signature cause the unsigned bill to be returned to Parliament, giving a reason for refusal. But if that bill they come again, the 2/3 of members of Parliament say, no, Mr. President, we will agree for this bill. Because what they do? Now them now the supreme law making body. Where they say supreme, no other person not get power for make law in Sierra Leone. We compare to the Parliament of Sierra Leone. Just like how the president now gets supreme executive power. We come to making decision with the executive. The same thing with the judiciary. Now that make you get the judiciary where you get the Supreme Court. When you don't reach the Supreme Court, where they don't pass verdict, it's final. So now that make it be final to say the other two may happen way very important. The members of parliament from both the SNPP and APC then they may make a law. And I make you see at the surprise at Cherry Coco, at the surprise at the these guys, you know, the young killers, at the surprise at them so much. I remember vividly when the issue came about the speakership in a parliament, because they find out that the presidents they appoint speakers every time for parliamentarians and then they go preside over parliamentarians they work. We not to elected members, the members of parliament then turn and they say, you know what's in? We want for the elect we speaker now. So what they do, they amend that law. They amend that law against the wish of the then presidents. They amend that law. Then turn and a very strong now inability speaker of parliament when the president they appoint. They pull them. They say we as members of parliament, and this was supported by both SLPP and APC then, because me, a lot of things that me criticize anything, but me they say it good because we know all the parliamentarians and they can't give you excuse anymore. Let it be like Nancy Pelosi, when constituency elect them, when can a parliament, then vote for them, say na you know speaker. You don't need for Sabi Boku big law for let you preside over what's in the happen, because otherwise what's in the happen, the courts then they interfere and parliament the process. So if we don't say we don't separate them arms there, let it be complete separation. So and in fact, the clerk of parliament right now, in a one pan people be supporting, not just support that law, they then send it for make them members of parliament elect, it go for to the extent that insurgents, na param na insurgents say, make them give the person where they be speaker of parliament, let it be a condition. If it will be 40 years of age before he assumed that position. Waiting do Param say because the speaker of parliament, where the president not the vice president not the now he represent the president. And because the president, the law say if will be 40 years for the president, so that law the Param push that in and the whole parliament agree with them. So for like I see somebody like Param, they take parliamentarians, they beat them, they squeeze them, they do all what they do to parliamentarians just because they want for suit in your convenience, they want for dilly-dally parliament. For me, I think it's serious challenge at the end. I think it's serious problem.
The conversation, brother Warisay, but very quickly, you say the law of appointing a speaker outside parliament, then we don't remove him. Like, did I get that wrong, or did you
yes
say that?
Oh yes, they may not amend them since 2013. They may not amend that law. We get the support and blessing of both sides of parliament.
So why then it happen again? Is it just because then they say this government don't care?
Thank you very much. That's for me. My biggest concern now. Where them pull the 10 members of parliament. I'm not deviate. I just need to talk about the powers of the parliament no more. Where they pull the 10 members of parliament, my idea was Sheikoko, Yumkela, take una troops, una walk out of parliament until they restore then 10 members of parliament who then pull illegally, una for good parliament. The issue for don't solve long term. Because we get a parliament when I just one side now inform that parliament.
Yes,
it not be a parliament at all.
Exactly.
So, but yet still we see outside these guys they not take that kind of action way opposition for take. But okay, incident and they be new for us. We're not being like okay, something and just afraid say okay, let's not target them and this and that. We left them. But going forward, what we see now that these guys they known to a large extent compromise. This law when they talk about the public elections, I don't know if I go fast. Comrade.
No.
Ibrahim. I don't know
go back to the legislation. Yeah.
Yes. This law when they talk about the Public Elections Act, for me, any law within the past na parliament, that the intention, now that they watch, follow na approve or disapprove. When I remember when I start for talk about that law, what did they say? Get the PR, they get the NIN, get this way, the African Express, like Ibrahim rightly put up, then on us say, oh, there's a law we want can pass a parliament to. Who are them? We first jump. Now the opposition members of parliament, now then jump and deny and say, oh, this is a lie. Oh, this is not to say D. Oh, this is my one point with name. Finally, that law it come out. People then can't hear about it now. The African Express, the advocates. Then they like I've been watching this thing. I just say, hold on, something that happened at Sierra Leone way entirely different from how it's supposed to happen. So the point say is a particular parliamentarian go blast for African Express on Facebook. Say, oh, that means Mara. Say, oh, that means all the thing African Express they put out against government, that means na lie. In defense of this law, where they know very well say again, we didn't get the PR, we didn't get the NIN, we didn't get all of these defaults. So for me, as a parliamentarian, we oppose, not to why we don't go there for good compromise. The parliamentarian we oppose, with that law they come finally before me. And they oppose everything about that law. Already, we don't live halfway anymore. We oppose everything. We get law. We take it into the last election. We do very well for we. Then call the last election one and the best election. Then call the last election. You understand? Say incredible. So why we want for changing the law at the 11th hour? So for me, on that basis, then for all reject them because the intention behind the law was never good. So for me, it's a shock and surprise with the members of parliament and they can't make like a say, they not get power. Even the opposition, they make like a say, they not get voice. They need to listen to them. They don't know what's in the happen.
But what is, when you talk about the intention, you say making laws, they get for do with the intention. You don't feel like the intention as something where can be interpreted differently. Somebody go say, well, we feel the intention is good. Then they go say, well, that we feel this intention is bad. You don't feel the intention, I think some way we're subjective when it comes to making these decisions. And what's that the yardstick for measure say the intention is good or bad?
No, that make we say, we make law, they can't go to the people there. So if you want to bring a law in at the PR,
yes,
or get for change your whole electoral system, now tell you for don't go begin discuss with the people in force. So because they hide for bring this law in a parliament, it simply means not a good law. Because they hide them, because they make a yuki for bring this law in a parliament, that means this law not good. It's equally like the law we get for do with the political party registration commission. where they non pass on the 10th of August, where people then see they demonstrate, Parliament see them, then they can pass law when the Political Party Registration Commission Act. Where if you now watch that law day, right now, no new political party not able to set up in a Sierra Leone based on that law where they non pass. And people don't even pay attention to that one day. People don't even pay attention, but then they're very, very serious because the financial requirements, then the requirements that we then put inside that law, they put and deliberately for make sure say new party not register going into the election. Just like we NGC be register going into the election. Just like we PMDC be register going into the 2007 election. Just like we PMDC or C4C be register going into the 2012 elections or 2018 election. That law don't make it very difficult for new political party for register. This is a democracy with
a good tactics by the SLPP because they don't say already the party the way it is the stronghold of like the APC. So now we just left us so no more. We don't get forget any kind of like new like party now we own side, because it's very but whatever I say, I don't know if Ibrahim don't come back or comrade, I don't know if you are coming inside. But I get a question where I want to make we kind of like move away a little bit because see now with all the issues them surrounding the registration process, we see like people in the talk say, oh, I go with birth certificate, like they kind of like register me, and they go with like they ask me for NI number, like we see the way like this whole the registration process is seen for they give people them the right for able to register as citizens of Sierra Leone, and then we can see like the opposition leader. Jerry Coco writes a letter about, like extending the registration. First of all, Mike, just give me your take now, and I'll ask you a question.
Yes, go.
How can you continue with like a process where everybody they complain, including like what the complaint just they talk, even parliamentarian and they complain. The parliamentarian they will get right in section 86(2), where they able call parliament, and let me emphasize on this point. According to the constitution, where they read section 86(2), not only did they when parliament's not there on recess, whether they do on recess or not, in other words, whether they do holiday or not, parliament get that right, they can exercise that right at any time. But when they see all these things that they happen, but I they see, look, guys, somebody will tell you, say, well, why do you criticize the Cherry Coco? Right, let's now for better extend the registration process. But my problem is, why are the kind of like they call for an extension about something where the process is completely and utterly wrong and in a disadvantage the people that the APC and the U party. Why have a kind of like say, let we go extend that? Why can't we call on Parliament to fix the system and then call for an extension? Then I will understand. But you just cannot just call for extension and then the problem then still they arise and then they occur. What do you have to say about that?
My brother, these guys then just decide for go rogue, then just decide for be dishonest. I'm telling you, even outside Parliament, the opposition can act. They can act, they can take decision, they can take action. Where the world will listen to them, where the world will intervene, where the world will tell ECSLC, don't forget about Parliament now. For so long, go Parliament. Don't forget about that. If we take memory back, we see where the international community go to Sierra Leone to go and go discuss about the election, how the election for happen. This now people are from Congress. We then go to Sierra Leone. One time the group we then meet with, now the people them we in opposition within a Parliament. C4C leader, the NGC leader, and the APC leadership. Then get a meeting with them people there. Where they make them complain. Two things happen. Where people, if you don't pay attention to one day, two things happen. One, a force matter bill in government for give time for date for election early. It caused matter bill in government for give date for election earlier. Not just a date for election. It makes sure say then ensure say we will affirm for say we committed to upholding democracy, good governance, and the rule of law. So these parliamentarians, these people within the opposition, they know very well, see, they get so many other powers for complaining and let people yeri and let action be taken if ECSL, they go against the law with themselves put. But not because then just decide to say, make you not worry. It's not part of a bargain. Don't not see anything that I make until after 2 weeks. And then come and can set up a press conference. Set up a press conference. Kiko another day. Cherry Coconut day. Whether I big voice them, that the leaders na parliament. The another day for give a particular press conference, the kind of strength, the kind of support we need, where the international community will say, hey, hold on, something may happen as Sierra Leone, we're wrong. COP go, then go make empty statement. In fact, then go they say they go big ECSL. They go big. Not to demand them, they go demand. They go big ECSL for me to register for first-time voters, for me to do this, for me to do this. I say, hold on, what's in the happen now? What's in the happen now? So you find after that meeting there, even the diplomatic community not attend that meeting. Now, any serious opposition, now a country where they about forget election, the diplomats, they want to know about everything where they happen with the opposition. But these guys, they don't make themselves so much that the international community need to look them anymore, from which I suspect, as members of the opposition. They need to look them with that kind of eye anymore, like say, these guys now opposition. Because these people can get power for someone, the international community, call a proper press conference, who said they put them before the international community, said, look X, Y, and Z, look the law we will pass, and look at how ECSL, they go about registering. So not for just call, for make the extended date, but for let ECSL follow the law. The very law where they don't put this, especially the Public Election Act, where they don't pass, for let them follow them, then get power for do them. But why they choose not for do use them power than they is anybody's guess.
Right. Thank you. Ibrahim, I don't know if you did your comrade. Yeah, because I know just one the true question at you.
Yes.
But go on. Yeah, you know, like you they talk about the international community. For say the international community seem for only the sorry for the people, and now they don't kind of like give up on the opposition not acting, or for say the opposition the excuse whether they give the lazy excuse they're working behind the scene. I mean, are they just feeling sorry for the people because then they say the people don't go through a lot, or that the behind the scene seem for the work?
The international community, especially the one that we get democracy, where they represent their country in Sierra Leone, they worry about with democracy. They worry the way with democracy they go. So them think say them gets responsibility. Akashi, remember, I don't know say you begin for vote. But remember, from 1996, we may begin for vote. Take until 2018. We know one day they get problem. We know one day they see this kind row around ordinary registration for voters. We know one day, 25 years or so, we will begin for register for vote. We not ever this incident here they happen. So why it happen now? Why it happen now? And why the deafening silence from the opposition? And then they begin to talk. When it starts for do the registration on the 3rd of September, 4th, 5th, all have been social problem. And Kashi, the other problem why they talk about, why make these members of parliament the opposition, no one for ask but the people then $10 million where the ECSL don't spend. Absolutely. African press don't give you serious evidence for say this money they not spend them, this money they don't thief them, most of them, and we don't cause problem for the election. Because hear me out. If the electoral commission can be fraudulent when it comes to financial spending, they can be fraudulent when it comes to elections. They can be very, very fraudulent because what you do, then go on for avoid accountability. Then go on for avoid accountability. So then go squeeze and then go push for make this government within a power so make it win. Because Madabio, they not say Madabio no get for hold accountable. They not say Madabio compromise. They not say Madabio don't catch like the fake receipt. So you not get for talk about corruption. You not get a moral standing for talk about corruption. So who there for take this position now, whether they for make sure say then champion this cause for make the ECSL account about how they procure their materials there, will be the cause problem all over, especially in the Northwest. Now the opposition, especially the one in the parliament, now they get a responsibility, especially the 21-man committee, that they get a responsibility. But no, they don't seem for one for talk about this $10 million. When I thought that's serious issue. We can to managing election. If you cannot manage the money, if you can be fraudulent in managing this money, trust me, you get tendency for rig election. So by that singular action, we the ECSL take, we do not give proper accounts, the integrity of the 2023 election is already compromised.
Absolutely.
Because they no go want accountability. They go evade accountability. So they go for give Madabio the election by crook. Because they know say if another government win power, then go bring them to book, then go bring them to account. So they no go want for another government to win. So this is a serious issue who thinks say the members of parliament they need for talk about. They not just for talk about them, they need for whole people that are accountable.
Without dampening the mood of people, this is very, very serious, Brother Warisay, because now ECSL or whether it's this money, they're not the control, they're responsible for the election. They don't eat money. They don't say if the other governments can, they can investigate them, they all go there hot waters. So what's they do now? Like, we get offense, but we all aid because if we come out now, that money we don't eat, we don't in trouble. The government that money we don't eat, they're in trouble. And then people are they manage the election. But I say we're in big trouble now their country.
Why say coming to why say working with parliamentarians for 15 years, meaning from Pakaba, as well, in first 5 years. I mean, but in second 5 years, he really uphold democracy. He really uphold the rule of law. Meaning, ever allow any political intimidation. I tell you, talk say before they go to bush, let them talk. See, President Nkrumah come, is strengthening them, the foundation of upholding democracy. I tell you, see, Lima and Guna do say, let me listen to Kuba. Now, tell you, see, Lima say, APC or let them go and tell Pastor Guna talk, all can talk. Then you go fit or nobody, not even ask them question yourself. Because that's the benefit of democracy, objective criticism. You know, me say President Nkrumah Atipa me say for lock you up because he say Atipa. No, you can criticize an objective point of view. He uphold and strengthen more the cohesion we imprisons left. So seeing this parliament, from where Salon not begin well, the two lead to the 1920 law, now the parliament of 1964, 65, 66, 67, and lead to the 1920 law. Because then pass laws them, we make the then opposition kind of governance. The whole law that day, we make the way pass the law, they not be at the same note in the lawyer, enough time for people left. So when they pass them, they not see enough time at all. Just like the law they do so now today, for count by force NN number, count NCRA, can impose census, begin do all kinds of things. What you make with the talk so today, will not allow government change again. This opposition can hold the law and they solidly, in fact, can use a more effective one than how they may plan them. Now, in the case of back it will be a destruction. So seeing this parliament now, knowing exactly they know them function, see, no, we get right for stop them here as members of parliament. Foresee what's that they do right now, you don't become terrible to me. So, you as person, we don't work, you start from lower level, take them to the high level, now the facilitate so many things them for the MPs them, seeing at that point how you want to look at the leaders of the opposition, because when we talk about parliament here, we talk about the leaders, specifically the APC, the C4C, and the NGC. When then the leaders, and they're not just turn leaders, then they did them all, they did them party represent the COP. Seeing COP get a meeting, the leaders of the oppositions, none of them no surface for go RC, this one I talk so, true, this will not be passed in the parliament, because if they mean good, then leaders then speak, they not speak on behalf of the parliamentarians. Then they not speak on behalf of the people and say, now we are the head of the opposition parties in parliament. This will not be also don't plan. Why not use that for kind of spam and then call to actions? Seeing that kind of thing, what do you want to talk about that?
And that make them tell them the way COP all that press conference, me I been call them out. The good thing, I pick them. I pick a good thing, we happen that day at the press conference. And I criticize them strongly for the very, very weak press release. And the fact say, why these people were in a parliament, where they know very well for say, COP, not to legal body anymore. They're not getting legal standing. They not get, you understand, that kind legality way it take for the political party gets for them to advocate or for them to confront the ECSL. Why these guys then decide for use the ECSL? Why they decide for use the ECSL? So for me, why they decide for use the COP? For me, people there in parliament, based on my experience, we now want for use them power for the betterment or for the good of the people of Sierra Leone, especially the opposition in parliament. And quite not to just say these people not get the numbers, now then get majority. We put C4C, we put KKY party, we put the APC. All the one there, then get power for stop any law we do not want, we don't think say bad for the people of Sierra Leone. Let it even SLPP even bring a kind of parliament. Let the speaker bring a kind of parliament. Then gets the power for able to stop that law there, because most of these laws, if you not get 2/3 majority, they know they pass, they know they become law. But these guys then just decide, say, you know what, let me forget about this. Don't worry about this. Just because for me of the deal, I don't make several good use them. Why they point out the fact, say these guys are things then they in bed with Madabiu. They don't agree, say Madabiu forget second term. They don't agree, say Madabiu forget power again. That make them decide for Puente Young Party. Come quite and look at the 21-man committee. Look at how the 21-man committee they behave. Kashi talk about something very important. If you say now Alfred Peter Conte, now in the deal with the ECS, the Electoral Commission, how come you Cherry Coco? How come you Abdukabu, Honorable Abdukabu? How come Unabe represent people na the voter registration launching? Usai then see una dance with party members, the opposition, the ruling party members, government officials, NEC officials. Una go for go launch voter registration. They don't kill una people, they don't destroy una people, they don't damage una people. To this young man who called Samson, they don't kill him. Few days after that, then they launch a process like that. Una party leaders, they see una they go, they dance and merry and cozy. Comrade, now from that time they made on afraid. Now from that time they come back and say, ha. This like for me, that was a ha moment. For me, that was the turning point for say, oh, this opposition, Madabi don't capture them. We get na Sierra Leone a status and a captured state. People them not they take the responsibility anymore. The press don't go. If not to the opposition, they give them money, now the government, they give them money. The civil society, they are nowhere to be found. This civil society will be loud, will be very loud. Because even if parliamentarians not stand for the people, them will be in the civil society, they shout them all over. No, this is not right. Oh, this is wrong. We'll be again discussion and they plenty towards the 2012 elections, towards the 2018 election. We'll be getting discussion and they you will see civil society ready for, you will see civil society ready against, but now it's absent. You know, they even hear about these things. Then just complacent. So what we say? We say we don't get a situation as Sierra Leone when a state capture and very, very dangerous for democracy. And if the opposition don't be part of the state capture, with democracy don't go. With democracy done. Because there's no difference anymore between the opposition and the ruling party. There's no difference. And it's scary, it's very, very dangerous. It's scary to the point that we don't want for with democracy backslide that far. So I have to say, I think Ibrahim don't come on.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, so
you feel so you've said enough, my brother, because unless we allow you for flow, but as much as I like the button, we cash box the button here and there, because we get a lot of questions in between some of the things that we don't say. But I think you've made your point very clearly, to the people of Salon. Comrade, I know say you get a few points then before because I've really brother Warisay get in flow for coming, but at least talk to me, comrade.
Yeah. Mr. McKillek, I just talk to Brother Warisay because one people here from people away credible. Because if you look at the role Brother Warisay they play today, equally for them keep quiet, like how we get so many people and we work under former president as ministers. So they can work as head of parastatals. when they know it's way they happy, so you're wrong. Instead for the quality keep quiet, walk behind the scene. But putting him guard down, say, you know what, I know this and keep quiet. That tells you how much the man be incredible do the internal way they serve from the days of Pakaba. So I don't already know say they not make any mistake for appointment as a national coordinator. They don't make any mistake. It showed the level of credibility, integrity, and the level of loyalty to state. Ibrahim, for us see what they say consistently now, in the right, in the talk, like possibly with the up the stick, with the ask how in picking height, in a left measure in picking height. Kandom, up the no see as in picking height. It tell me it's no be known to do yesterday how democracy will not happen from Pakistan in the last 5 years, to in 10 years. Yeah. How they work for make like parliamentarian become what in you see them been doing that and they been doing as the national coordinator for give them credence, give them mutuka, add value to them to the entitled being a members of parliament. Add value to the entitled say MPs they no go work by foot go na the constituency them. MP they forget money for go don't go engage the people them. Them all landed they try for twist they begin change the goal at the middle of the game, change the goal post. You see, if we get 4 or 5 people we've know for the past 15 years, meaning back by 5 years and it's quite 10 years, we don't know who governance, then see this bad parliament because this parliament this was passed in 1964 because it's was one party. This parliament was passed in 1964 because it's one party, so we don't say opposition in day. This the parliament of 67, 68 now one party, we know they say opposition in day. This one, we get an opposition party. So this one, what makes this one in was because this 68 state to who they get war now, be one party will not go opposition. Now what they feel for the do. Now then Lord and they would have been set for carry one party we Albert Magai set in 1964. Now make any war will fit the Hakeri Albert Magai, then they set that platform for all get war. But this parliament now, in this 21st century, they say democracy. Meaning not to like parliamentary ruling will get down. This is that democracy. This is that proper democracy where they say the minority get right. Even if the House of Parliament, I can always go to Anes Kuma in opposition. We brother I say now in a witness to that. 27 of them, they make a very big impact. They not just win debate the parliament, they win vote. Remember 27. That's not just 2 parties to get APC and SLP. Imagine if we can get a 27 MPs, they make an effect with the proper leadership. The leadership then get everything. How we go day in a country, we sont happy, they just go write letter no more. They sit off. No talk. Hey, all right. This right to the right, this and census, the right for census happen. The right for NCR to NCR happen. The right for NIN no good. They say even then go debate in the parliament. We see it don't be a condition. So when this parliament go act as parliament, because let me tell you, Ibrahim, if you look at the leadership of parliament, the 3 leaders they work at the 2 who already know they don't go. In fact, you don't go already. And I know we have to be seen. The other ones in the whole, whole lot for Manabio because they make SLP not to run a meet. It hope say that they go to run a meet. Yes. You see now, Jericho going in for stand now. We in no more. You don't swell all the we then to the natural thing 59. You don't swell at all. We be say he able now for older parliament to have some 59 MP. Yeah. They didn't make any decision at parliament. We APC not the part. The work. Not possible. Deliberately, it's a deliberate actions because I don't know what that young man and problem. I don't know the fee say that people let man abuse second time. That's what we want for man abuse. If this bank I get for distress alone, they underestimate and they can look to the person today. So the same thing. The senior man and not keep quiet. Deliberate actions. These actions are deliberate. I know they able understand why members of parliament recall parliament sitting for this NI number and this NSR don't be conditioned. This thing are just option. Ibrahim, why no call say no? We not just say NI number, not for the part of NI, not forget table itself.
Absolutely.
To me, it's a deliberate action. And people then they see the people not ask you when I give water. They not say when I give it rest. They say when I allow all of vote. They not when they call say we are Coco, we told this today, we don't get it for it. Ibrahim for the past 15 years, we don't see election as alone for over 20 years. We don't follow election as alone. Now the only election is I say people say who are register. All this while you could just say who are it will not get it for it, to go for them they talk. But this time around the people say who register or make law register. So the first registration and say people apply for registration. They not talk for food. They not so one who farm. They not so one who sell. They still go register. Ibrahim. Stop it.
I want to ask Brother Warisay two questions very, very quickly. You know, I know say the comrade make the point say now you day out, you they talk and all that.
Kashi line don't go.
Okay, Brother Warisay, since Kashi, I was about to step out. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll ask a question. You feel say like we get chance for make this government the census. Do you think like the government, you know, like we come here to mention like, oh, census they come the right letter, but it still go on and all that. You really feel say this government, if the opposition will come and stand up against the plan, this way where this thing they go, so you don't feel say this government go always try for match the census with this registration?
Now, something that happen at Sierra Leone where I not ever hear it, I never see.
Right.
Where before Madabi they go to the UN, the president of Sierra Leone, before they go to the UN, he go to television, in words. He say in forgiving manba or waiting and color. So the census data, that fake census, we then do 2021, he say they're not going for use them for any politics. Not so we all know you read that one day.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We all know you read that one day. We all read that one day. He say they're not going for use them for politics. But no sooner he left, we did at the UN, we read the electoral commissioner, ECSL. When Mr. Kone, he go na 19.1, he said they go for the boundary delimitation. So, if boundaries exist already, you tell me say you go for the boundary delimitation, you get forget a data with a new data. And which one are that data? We did right now with a new data.
It's the census.
The 2021 census data.
Yeah.
So who signed for pull data? Where the president don't make a policy statement for say this census data, we are the whole people them by the word so because you know finally people say no, waiting the leader, the president especially what he say now a policy. We listen again, no less a person than the Speaker of Parliament, Dr. Abbas Bundu, with the international community or representative then go meet in a parliament. He repeats that one day, he reiterates them. Say they get for do boundary delimitation. The question is, Sierra Leoneans, the question is, waiting we members of parliament say we're in opposition, waiting for do for make sure say this particular census data they not use them because that census not to data in fact, because not to correct data, not to proper data. So what's in the ECSL they try for do for match that word where they don't talk, say we go for do boundary delimitation, that make them not begin predict numbers for we.
Thank you.
Most them ECSL or NEC begin tell you say, oh, now this number of people that we target for register. Come on. That's all we have for tell you that day. Una business will be we they register every eligible voter. Simple. So whatever number una get, now from that una they use for conduct the election. And we not ever then scenario we see then go to voter registration, then come back, then can do a boundary limitation. No, Lala, we don't ever see it. It's not a best practice. And what's absent again, we are seeing we opposition leaders, they need to talk about, they need to mention. Christian Astop started a very good practice around elections. Not just the electoral management bodies, then when are the EMBs. We then get a group, when a civil society group, who been meet, especially who been close to the election, like how we get them process there. So every fortnight, every 2 weeks, people in the meet civil society from all angles. They go discuss with NEC. They tell them what are the challenges, what are the problem. So by that way, the civil society themselves even for monitor that process the way they happen. But I don't hear that they happen anymore. I don't see them. I don't hear the media. In fact, the first 1-2 weeks, the media not even talk about voter registration where they go on national radio. And we members of parliament who are the opposition, they're not being seen for concern. They're not being seen for worry. For me, that ain't been worrying me. But the thing, quote at mention that one, we make a gladdy. Now the fact say, this time we not see NEC do sensitization. We not see civil society do sensitization. But yet, we see the people in the commot in duos, in numbers, in thousands. They come and say, we want for register because we want for tell this buyer, thank you for what you don't do for we.
Yes.
We want for register. Then we see them, they suppress them. Then they suppress them. They're not able for register. We see the involvement of the international community, the British Air Commission. Any say we go, it up a video, it tell you say, "Ude maburka, una come out una register." It speaks a lot.
It speaks a lot,
it speaks
bruh.
volume.
Hey,
We
bruh.
them, the members of parliament, the opposition, that they're supposed to be filling that gap there.
Hey, bo.
Why?
Hey, bo, my brother. If now we dey talk this, then go say na Ibrahim they talk. They don't let Cherry Coco, they don't let Kande Yumkela, they don't let Masilamina, they don't let the members of parliament them. But thank you. You see, brother, this is what which I will ask you this.
Like I just talk this. A lot of people in Sierra Leone, they know the relationship between me and Honorable Cherry Coco. We been establishing very, very strong relationship and day. So people are not going to come back and say, oh, no, these are malice. No. But for me, when it comes to country,
but trust me, they will say it because they've said it against Communicator. Communicator don't talk openly say Cherry Coco are the only person will be the money, but they still use them against them.
But they not get evidence. Not so. Evidence not there. I mean, you go and go point up and Communicator. That's when somebody called me and say, oh, African Express you follow so audio day where they don't begin talk say they get personal beefy with. I say send me the audio. Oh no, pass the car free talk. I say that means you're not ready to. That means I like the lie. So you see all of these things, then they bring and come up as strategy for pacify we. For no we left for talk about the wrong thing them, we then they do.
Absolutely. And the strategy, they work. And I work pan salon people in Brother, you say something just now, we're very, very powerful. You say civil societies and NEC, they don't do no sensitization drive across the country. Perfectly true. But the people, my brother, over 4 years of civic education, the people are enlightened. Sierra Leoneans don't wake up, my brother. Salon people know they sleep again. They don't sabi say they should be involved. Therefore, involved in this democracy, yeah. Because they know say this democracy. You want to, want to we are all political animals. Because this democracy, if you say you want to, want to now they make you eat. Now they make you get fine place for freedom. Now they make you get good hospital. Now they go make you get good road. So this politics, yeah, they all don't involved. They say, you know what, we can't take charge. This is what the leaders they're not glad for. But what I say, I want to ask you this. What you would say, and you already don't begin touch on them. What you go say to some of these people them? Where is you don't say, hey, when I left the member of parliament them, then they suffer them, then they beat them, then they terrorize them. What you for do now? Talk to them for me, brother. What you say?
You know what I don't come for realize now? I come for realize that probably this particular thing, in fact, maybe it'll be a ploy between the key members of parliament them and the government at the time. Because I get intelligence. Say big person at APC did advise Honorable Cherry Coco, say if them pull them on a members of parliament, we them pull them when I walk out of parliament. When I walk out of parliament, may we see how this parliament will survive. May we see how this parliament will get credence.
Wow.
But he refused. He refused for walk out of parliament in solidarity of the 10 members of parliament them where they removed by force.
Wow.
And for me, that was telling. Because ECOWAS then just don't conduct the election. ECOWAS was going to come. They were going to come because of the simple fact say, they no say, for now we get post-election violence. Now most countries, it's easy than even the election violence. Post-election violence, look Kenya.
Post means say people post means say after the election, violence can happen after the election.
Yes, exactly. After the election, people no say it's easy.
But I say yourself, you don't come with the English now. You can point to like you back to
Usai, left cashier, we can speak the English.
You understand, eh? So ECOWAS was going to come. They mean get for come inside because they no say that trouble in science and the one in the for make 50, 59 parliamentarians and walk out of parliament. Say no, until then do this, we know we'll go back to parliament. That was a simple stance. And the other thing that how we sit down and watch Param use the law for remove that law where they don't pass, where they all be don't pass. Try to say now from amongst members of parliament, therefore elect speaker, not to the president. Because when the president appoints speaker in parliament, it means it interfere with the independence of parliament.
Yes.
Who said they were Sidom? All without all that number. Who said they Sidom? They need to take action. So then they will be sorry for them. Hey, look, they don't beat them. Hey, look, they don't. But we will take with mind back. We will begin for things. Say, hold on. With this action, what they do now, with this kind of behavior, what they put up now, let not be see them man there. Then I'm in part of that ploy. Then and day for say no, when I just make this guy alala, no, when I make this guy with himself, when I they get to our way. Not even the deputy speaker of parliament when I able to get as opposition. All the world over. Anybody will get majority in a parliament. That person they now in the form that parliament, now in the get leadership in that parliament. Right away, automatically. Question about even though they go for go into election, because I don't go see me party, they are see the other person party, they are saying no other person party, now for be leader in a parliament. No. So always, once you don't get a majority, it's sacrosanct say when it comes to election, now you they get the speakership, now you they control parliament. And if Mother Bill agree, I say then if Mother Bill agree, if we be run one pan the best government, like some say like some of we, they can campaign for Mother Bill now.
Absolutely.
They can campaign for that today.
And what I say, this is not now what you will be done to say. If only them be allowed that for happen. So
yes.
The investment flow, because people will have confidence now with democratic system, and they'll be like, you know what? Africa done the camp of age. That was a testing for Salon, and that's now begin destroy even with economy and the exchange rate where the Leons they run to 20,000 now. Now it caused this. And what I say, it leads me for Mike. I ask you this question, please. I don't say we don't run out of time, but people and they say, oh, this government different. What you they talk so now with the during the APC, like and Escoma encourage democracy for prevail. Then they tell you say this government, then they encourage that. Hey, do you believe in that excuse?
I will quote President Nkrumah: extraordinary times require extraordinary measures. Where we don't see say this parliament's different, or we don't see say this government different, una the opposing side na parliament, una say for decide for be different. Where una not say this government na radicalism they bring about in the governance, una self una go for use radicalism because na the only language that we in the yeri. Waiting how una go do am. How una go do am. Maybe this parliament here we need to draw their attention back. Say the international community, one pan the group the way they protect national union. Somebody asked me this question. I just deviate small. Somebody asked me this question. Oh well, when I talk about Cherry Coco, if now you been what they say, what you for been do? I said, Madam, you know why every day. You know why they say what they say, the opposition leader. We get 59 members of parliament. You know what? It could be the greatest nightmare we will ever face in our life. Because I know say when you hold me 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you don't left me. Because the whole world will grab and shout, say, what's happen with the key opposition leader? Why you the whole what's wrong? So these guys now the opposition, they know say they get this power. They know very well say they get this power for bring this government down if they want. But let them not go that far, let them not go that extreme. When them begin see their wrong thing they happen, what do you need for do? Get a press conference, young killer, Cherry Coco, bring you 100 parliamentarians or whosoever, what number, bring them come to that press conference, call the international community. You think they really can they? In Goa, no. There's something serious that happens in the hold on, Lord, pay attention. Otherwise, because their responsibility when they did at Sierra Leone, now for protect democracy. Not to that make they say we didn't have the list for the MCC grants, not for good governance, not for democracy. So if that thing they're not there again, how the world will look at we? If these parliamentarians they're able to take their action their way, not genuine actions, not genuine intention, trust me, they will be the most popular politician in the world today, the KKY or the Cherry Coco, they will be the most popular because we don't see a government where draconian, we don't see a government where they use the military, they use any kind of force where they're for use. So because we don't elect and send them there, they may get responsibility for team up for we. For team up for we, for team up, not for team up against we. So I have to stop so far. I mean, I don't talk about what I think.
Some people need that book talk. I think we for end and like I don't know if Ibrahim deal with we. I think in the original office now. Yeah, but to be honest, a lot of people need that book talk about what you say. Like you make mention of like Conrad, I don't know if you want to say anything.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Yes. Sorry, guys. I'll come back.
Right, go.
Yeah. Let round up this. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So, I want to ask, a little closer with one last question for you, brother. What you say? Well, believe, but it's switch today. You don't educate me a lot. But one last question. Do you hear what brother Wari say? Tell Salon people and for me, but if it's really possible for let we pull Marabiona power without the help of Parliament, and why important for we continue for whole members of Parliament accountable so we get rid of this government? Is it possible for us win election without Parliament in help?
It's very difficult. It is very difficult. But one thing I may glad for the fact that the people of Sierra Leone, their willingness for go out and register. It spells doom for the government. Because, Ibrahim, the election we were for conduct, the international community get for Dede. International observers get for Dede. They get for the everywhere they watch how we conduct. In fact, from now, you say, find out, see the Carter Center. Mm-hmm. The Carter Center, now one big organization in the world, we all man know, we're renowned for monitor election. Mm-hmm. They not ever they go watch we voter registration, but we don't see this trip, they don't go there.
They did it.
Real time. You understand? Yes, they did it. They did radio. Then they watch how we even register because they know all this row. They know all about these problems when they happen. So in fact, it's shameful. But yes, it's possible to win without this Parliament. What you do? Now the votes now get for count at the end of the day. Now the votes now get for count at the end of the day. Kone, it no say a risk a lot of things them. If we go call the results, we know to actual results. Zainab. Where Jana Mosi also within our ECSL, where they don't tell me the intelligence will get that in fact in get power pass the chairman that commission day. They say they listen to the chairman. They say not to the chairman put on day. Now mother you put on day. What mother you put on day for? Now you go do. They no say there are consequences of organizing bad elections, and they no say you get family because when they sanction you not what they sanction you and your family. Then when them pass ban on that. Let us see how you get for enjoy that government with or rogue or with or rig. So yes, it is very possible, say, we're able to win elections without a parliamentarian. However, we need their support. We need them for come out. We need them for let them do thing them for the people them. We vote for them today. We suffer for them all over. Yunkela Cassidy people them. We vote for you. We decide say Yunkela people them. Come rain, come shine. When I go to Parliament, now then people they for member, now they for think about. Cherry Coco, you people in our Wilbur Force, we vote for you then 10 and day. Now then people for think about Sierra Leone, think about the bigger picture, think about the Samson, we didn't kill for nothing. Think about other young people we didn't kill just for nothing. Think about other people who didn't rape. Because they're connected to the APC, they're connected to the opposition. Think about people who didn't sack. They sack them in numbers just because they belong to a particular political party. Think about all of those people and decide for act now. For me, it's never too late. They can come back, they can act, they can hold for all government responsible, they can hold all government accountable, starting with the $10 million. But man, if you're not credible for manage $10 million, you're not credible for organized election. Simple. This is just simple. Give me explanation as to how you spend this money. We don't see plenty evidence. We come up from see what you are scared about, Ibrahim, before they go. What you are scared about? Now the first time this, where I see the opposition, now then they go against somebody where they criticize government.
Yeah.
The opposition, now they're just not willing for use evidence where an independent journalist they bring up for the way factual. Marabio in those days now opposition, JJ Safa in those days now opposition, the SFP newspapers in those days, then they quote Africanist press in corruption story about the then APC government, page by page. Then they mention them every day, every morning when you wake. That then thing they like to see, that then thing
that's the point where you just need to. It's a very crucial point where I don't know if you were able to join way back anytime soon for can talk about that particular thing. But I want to get you make the comment say yes, we can able win election without the parliamentarian. Them. I want slightly disagree because you know why? You make a point earlier where you say, like that guy there, and you don't continue for making where you say if you're not credible enough for manage $10 million, what to make you think say you're credible for manage like an election process? And you make the point where you talk say these guys are scared. Mohamed Kone, they don't say if SFPP were to go, they are going to be investigated. And they know this. They know this. If Parliament cannot actually call them out now and expose and kind of like make their account for that money, you really don't feel say themselves go back SLPP because they don't want to make them pull their waist now, though.
Like this will come. Disgrace will come because elections are based on international best practice. Elections are based on law.
Right.
So the members of parliament, they therefore understand, say, if they don't follow the law, they don't apply the law, hey, what thing they happen? The international community will then come, then they follow the law, the international observers will then come, then they follow the law of managing election to the fullest. So now that then get for be scared of that one day. For understand, say, there's another option. So this way, all the case, all lawmakers pass. There's another option where now people from outside of Sierra Leone holding HTSL and government to account for conduct election we meet international best practice. And we don't wonder, we don't reach that point. Already the economy is dead. Already, we don't see. The economy is dead. We don't reach that point the way election done. The international community say this election not free, not fair, not credible. Come on. We all here, we are the West to understand what's in the mean what the international world say, it not meet international best practice. We not recognize them. So what he tell you, that government will be difficult for get recognition and credibility. So yes, that make me say there's an option against the members of parliament them. They do not forget themselves get for be accountable at some point in time. But it's never too late. It's never too late. These members of parliament, they can come back and begin for do the work for me and you.